Right now, we are live on the World Wide Web, and here we go. Very nice.
You guys have heard of it
and
then.
So if you are sitting with someone you shouldn't be sitting with, you might want to go have a smoke. We've been doing this for a while, and it's great fun to interview the headliners and talk a little bit and get to know them as who they, well, possibly really are. And I'm not going to talk about last night. And I'm gonna let
That's not what I was even thinking about.
The night before last?
I've gone through a spell.
Oh,
I like your notes, man.
Isn't that nice? A lot of people do stuff professionally.
I can write better than fucking that. Man.
You can.
Look at this.
I know. Thank God for spell check. I didn't even spell where right. You mentioned being born. You were born in Africa, but you left there really young and went to Minneapolis.
Yeah, St. Paul.
St. Paul.
And that's what my parents, they were like, hey, where should we move from Africa? Oh, Minnesota. Oh,
okay. and you lived there most of your life?
Well, I lived in St. Paul till I was 15, and then I actually moved back to Africa for an entire year. I lived in Senegal, West Africa.
And was that your entire family, or just you?
Me and my parents, and I had a friend who just heard I was going to Africa and asked his parents if he could go with us.
And what did your parents do that took them to Africa and Minneapolis and back to Africa?
My dad's a professor. He was teaching American Lit that time, but my dad's insane. He speaks 13 languages.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
And your mom, was she working or just taking care of the family?
No, just bitching. No, my mom actually homeschooled us that year. So this is what you get.
There you go. When you were in Senegal at the age of 15, were you really out in the population a lot with the people that lived there? And
yeah, you know what? I made friends with some people in a village not too far from the university I lived at. I actually went to their village daily.
And was that a when you say village, was that a certain tribal community?
Well, it's a Muslim country, and then everyone either speaks Wolof or Pular, and these people are Wolof.
And your dad spoke both, obviously.
Yes, and I actually speak Wolof.
Really?
I do. I speak it not fluently, but I can get down pretty good in Wolof, man.
Could you at the age of 15, could you hit on a girl
that was the first thing I learned, man.
So say this girl right here was a woman from Senegal. In Wolof, what would you say to her? Something in Wolof?
I would say, yo, sama bugga bugga dugga dugga la.
Bullshit. That is not a language.
That's right. I'll teach you that.
Okay, now what is it again?
It's Wolof, and the saying is, yo, sama bugga bugga dugga dugga la.
Yo, sima, booga booga, digga digga.
Dugga.
I said something horrible, didn't I? Booga booga, digga digga.
Le. And it means, you are my heartfelt desire.
Wow, it didn't sound anything like that.
Well, but the literal translation is, you are my want, true.
You are my want, true. Ah, very nice. Very nice. Look at her nipples.
But she's not from.
And
No. She's not from Senegal, man.
That is so cool.
It's a pretty useless language to know right now.
Yeah. Obviously. So you've had a colorful life leading up to this. Your whole life has been colorful, really. And now college. You told me you went to a small kind of hippie school, right, up in the Northwest.
Yeah, the Evergreen State College in Olympia,
Evergreen
Washington.
State College. And
total.
Did you get a degree?
I have a Bachelor's of Arts, and I actually you could create your own majors and courses, and I actually studied stand-up comedy. So I think I'm the only graduate ever anywhere to actually have a job in what I studied in. So.
Exactly. We have a college here in Sarasota called New College where they do that same sort of thing, and we've had some of the kids do theirs on stand-up comedy here.
Oh, maybe
so
I could
when
do the keynote for them.
So when you came out of college, did you go directly into stand-up comedy immediately?
You know what? I actually went from Olympia to Denver with a friend just on a whim.
Right.
She asked me to move to Denver, and her dad got me a job at an Easter Seals camp. So I was a camp counselor for other disabled people. So it's like the blind leading the blind, really. So. I'll feed you. No, you feed me. Our palsies canceled each other out.
Oh.
And then
So how did you end up? Was it the Comedy Works in Denver where you first started?
Yeah, that was my first real club that I got to.
Myself too. That's where I started.
A great club.
Yes, it is.
So.
And how old were you then when you first tried stand-up comedy open mic night?
Oh man, well when I studied in college, I got to do like a coffee house. I did every Wednesday a Josh Blue hour. I first started between two bands at this coffee house, and then they quickly realized that people were only coming to see me because after I was done, the headlining band would have an empty place. I kind of felt bad, but not really.
No, you don't.
And then I actually had the Josh Blue Comedy Hour, and I did an hour of new material every week.
Wow.
I have no idea. I can't do that now, man.
Oh. And so as a touring nightclub comic, that started what year?
Let's see. I won Last Comic in '06, so I started in '05.
Okay, so the year before you got Last Comic Stand, and you just started to it. So you that is meteorically. That's not even a word. I made it up. It sounded good though. That's really fast. It's tremendous fast, and so that launched everything. It took right off. And then at that point, did the comedy career kind of take a life of its own?
Well, after winning or what?
After winning.
Oh, no, it stayed the same. No, you know, I mean, I was on NBC 13 weeks in a row, and then ended up winning the show. You know, it was pretty drastic change. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Are you guys applauding because I was able to say a sentence? No.
And now we were talking about the cerebral palsy. You and I and a friend of yours, who was here the other night, who is a coach on the Paralympics team, correct?
Yeah, he was a former player.
Former player. Navy. It was in the Navy.
Coast Guard.
Coast Guard. Had a head trauma,
yeah.
and he himself has a type of palsy.
Right.
And what I did not realize, until that night and thought I knew. How many people in here realize that cerebral palsy is not a disease? Okay.
I knew that.
I know. I did not know that. I did not know that.
Well, what the hell? What? Like you thought? Like
I thought it was like muscular dystrophy.
Weeks after I was here, you're like, oh, I think I might have caught it. That's why you haven't had me back for 5 years.
I feel like I'm coming down with some palsy.
That's just DTs. That's
oh
shit.
So for the many people who I know are like me out there that did not know that this wasn't a disease, that it explain cerebral palsy just a little bit.
I'm not a fucking doctor, man. You know what? Basically, in layman's terms, is your body sends a message to the brain, and your brain reads it incorrectly and sends the wrong message back.
And it's caused by head trauma.
Yeah.
At some point in time, correct?
Yes.
It's an injury.
Usually within the first year of life.
Right. And as you grow older, do you kind of know how this disability will change?
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's one of those ones that stays the same, except like I have to worry about arthritis and the usual drunk-ass diseases.
I can actually read this shit. And the fabulous thing is that your life has been, I mean, comparatively to the average person, I think you've had an extraordinary life. And crazy extraordinary. Yeah, you talk a lot about your wife and your children and how much of a family man you are. And how much are you away? How much do you have to be away from the family tour?
A lot, man.
Is it a lot too much?
Yeah, it's almost too much.
Yeah.
It's like I travel usually 3 weekends a month, but that's like I've been here since Thursday.
Yeah.
And then I leave tomorrow, so that's a good chunk. And then I leave Denver next Wednesday for the next thing. So, you know, I love what I do, but when I'm home, I'm dad. That's
right.
it, you know.
You got the Showtime Special coming up April the 18th, hour-long special. Now, is that your first Showtime Special? Hour-long?
Yeah, my first hour special on TV.
That's great. And so we'll be watching for that. Did the show that you did tonight and the show that you're touring with right now, are there elements of that Showtime Special in the show that you're doing right now?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I filmed this special almost a year ago now, so I've had a lot of time to do some new jokes since then, but there's a lot of I'm still a white African American. You know?
Where was the special taped?
In Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. Yep. And now I would like to open up questions to the audience, and just raise your hand if you have a question, and I'll repeat the question to make sure that people that are watching on the web get it. So if there's anything, yeah. Is there something back there?
Yeah. Are you 30 years old, or are you a lot younger?
How old are you? I wanted to translate. I speak fluent Mayakan. That's a very little known tribal language we have in there in the area.
Well, I'm older than 30, but less than 35, so you know what I'm saying, right?
Well, you picked that up really well. Obviously, you're genetically gifted that way.
Gift with language.
Another question? Was there anything?
There's a big hand
Over
there.
here? Yeah.
Your comic influences. What do you have in Africa? You know.
Your comic influences in Africa.
Oh,
Specifically.
I mean, there's lots of things that were funny in Africa. I mean, actually, when I was there, I did. What was it? Deep Thoughts. We had a book of the Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy. We would read that shit like 1,000 times and still be funny. And we didn't have shit else to do, really.
Not a lot of television there.
No, there was 5 channels, and each channel was in a different language.
And only your dad enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
How sad was that?
We went to a church. We went to a church in Africa that was in. They spoke Bambara, which is, I don't know, one word in Bambara, man.
And was the church? What was the? It was
Lutheran.
It was a Lutheran church. A Lutheran church. And speaking Bambara.
Yep.
Wow. My brother-in-law is a Lutheran minister, and
I'm sorry.
he's bombastic.
Bombastic.
Another question? Yes.
Just want to know, where did you meet your wife?
Where'd you meet your wife?
Next question, please.
Okay. Glad to move right along.
Shit. No, actually, it's. Well, thank you, Les. She was. My wife is actually my ex-girlfriend's friend. Pulled the old switcheroo. I just answer the questions, folks.
You had a question here?
Sir, are you off to empty one of those buckets?
Did you have a question here?
Actually, it was the same question.
Oh, really?
Get out of here, really?
Want to know about your wife?
How does your wife deal with your sense of humor?
How does my wife deal with my sense of humor? She doesn't understand this shit, man. I'm screwed if she ever gets Rosetta Stone, man.
Wow. That's what should be sponsoring this. Is there another question anywhere? No?
Are they her kids too?
I think this is going horribly bad. Yes. Yeah. No.
Well, I think so. I don't know.
I have
Little blonde Asians. So. I saw them come out. So. Not
So we're about ready to wrap, unless there's.
Oh,
the one right there.
What were your 2 white parents doing in West Africa?
What were my 2 white parents doing in West Africa?
There's a guy that doesn't realize there's white people in West Africa.
My parents are actually black. So.
I'm glad we finally got that cleared up. A lot of people didn't realize that. And, that's right. He's a genetic mutation.
Yeah.
Last question, and I've asked this to all the comics.
Well, then
is
get
there
a new question.
Well,
right?
no. Done with this. Is there anything going on right now, personally or globally, that is really disturbing to you, that is upsetting to you, disturbing, something that pisses you off, that you would love to write a great piece of comedy material to expose it, that you haven't?
Well, all of it. It's all disturbing to me, man. I don't know where to begin with that question. How have the other comics answered this?
We've had taxes.
Taxes,
We've
that's
had,
a good one.
We've had politicians.
Oh, yeah.
They're very upset about that. Insurance was not a happy time.
All scams, yep.
All scams.
Everything you've mentioned so far.
Yeah,
Yep.
those along the lines there that we've had.
Well, I mean, there's just so many to choose from.
You're right.
Social Security, yes, it used to be an issue of mine. I used to collect a lot of disability. Kind of moved out of that tax bracket. I don't know, Les. That's a good question. Maybe next time I come through here,
you'll think
I'll have the answer.
Okay.
I mean, I want to change it all, and
I'll give you some time.
How about this? Palsy Revolution. That's what I want.
The Palsy Revolution. Well, it's a pleasure having you back, and we look forward to having you back again much sooner.
Well,
this
thanks,
time.
Man.
Absolutely. It was a great week. Great week. Yes. Watch the Showtime Special April the 18th. We'll be back with the podcast this next Thursday with a very talented man that is a writer for Saturday Night Live, Keith Alberstadt, who's also appeared on the Letterman Show. And we thank each and every one of you for coming out. How about a big hand? Yes. For Mr. Josh Blue.